Yo, what's up? I'm here. All right. I got my little voice changer back, right? Hopefully everybody's having a great night so far. It's gonna get a lot better. Let's see what this one sounds like. Just mess around at the beginning. See if more people show up. Let's see what this sounds like.
Hey, what we're gonna do is Unit 3 all night. No, we won't do it all night. We're just doing Unit 3 and 4. We should be able to finish up 4. I really think so. If you are here, let me know in the chat so I don't think I'm talking to myself. I know people are going to be watching it later. I know everybody can't tune in right at the beginning. But yeah, let me know who's here. We have, hey Jessica, what's up?
How are you doing? Yeah, I have that crazy thing. All right. So I won't waste any more of you guys' time. Let's do the intro and then we'll get right into it, right? Here you go. You gotta love that. That was a little early. Sorry. It's so weird because for me to hear myself, it gives me an echo. So it's like really, I don't know. And we're gonna finish up 3 and try to do 4. So I don't know. I would probably say an hour. But, you don't have to stay on this the whole time. It'll always be on our YouTube channel. You can come back and watch it later. No problem there. So let me put myself in the corner. Nobody puts baby in a corner. You guys don't get that joke, but it's okay. Oh, what's up, Haley? I didn't even see you. Said hello. Hello there. If you say hello to me, I'll say hello to you. All right, so here's Unit 3. Let's start. I think this is kind of where, that's right there. There we go. I think it's about where we started off. Yeah, I think it might be blocked for some stupid reason. Oh, hey, Anthony. Yeah, I don't know. I tried to get it unblocked. Of course, they didn't care and they, did whatever. But if you're using like your school email, for some reason it's blocked. I'll have to work on that. I totally forgot about that. So if that's the case, if somebody else hits you up, make sure you tell them they got to log in through like their own YouTube. I don't want to take the time to send out a message on that. So here we go. All right, period 3. I think this is where we started. Let me see. Right there. Hold on 1 second here. All right. That should be better right there. Can you guys see that? Does that show up clear? It's looking like it's not that clear for me. It looks like on their screen, but maybe it is. Hopefully it is. Like the information. It should be. Let me see. Move this. Okay. Thank you, Jessica. Let's do it right there. That's good. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. So Articles of Confederation. I know we got to this in some of the classes. So if I got to this in your class, I'm sorry. I know a couple classes didn't. Articles of Confederation, very, very weak central government. This is created after we defeat the horrible British, right? We smashed them. But this is the thing. You couldn't tax, no national military. You had all kinds of problems doing anything because the central government had no power. Okay, that is the problem. And they're going to quickly change that, within a decade, right? So then you have the Northwest Land Ordinance. This is where, because we have all this new land, we got to figure out how we're gonna divide it up. So this is really how they're going to emit all these new states. You have to have 60,000 people to apply for statehood. That Northwest Territory. Now remember, this is back in the day. So if you say Northwest Territory and it's in the 18th century, 1700s, remember, that is, you have Wisconsin, this area here, okay? It's this area. And we have the slavery is outlawed there. So I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But that's the Northwest Territory, not like Seattle and Washington that we all think of as Northwest Territory, okay? So we get public education. So these are things. Now, remember when we were talking about today about the DBQ and, all these terms and things like that you can come up with that are going to help you. What's up, Logan? I got A-Push alumni coming on here. What's up, guys? And these things establish public education, all right? So then you got my boy here, James Madison, right? Father of the Constitution. You should all be remembering that, right? And this is separation of powers. They quickly figured out the Articles of Confederation were not powerful enough. Oh, Matthew, you're funny guy. Then the limits on national powers. Okay, this is the big thing. Oh, gentlemen, you have this really pushback against a strong federal government. This is because of the overreach by Parliament and King James. Leading up to the revolution, right? So they're like, we're not going to deal with any of this in the new government. So the states are going to have a lot of power, right? That was the Articles of Confederation, but they kind of realized they needed to give some to the federal government. So this is what they do. And they come up with a Great Compromise, okay? Now, the Great Compromise, I didn't put it here, right? But those were two plans. Oh, man. You guys are joking. The Virginia and the New Jersey plan, right? New Jersey is a very small state. Virginia is a very big state. Obviously, New Jersey wants it based on equal across all of the states, while Virginia wants it, based on population. That's the biggest thing. You guys keep blowing up my chat box for some nonsense. I'm going to do something you're not going to like. Then we get the 3/5 compromise. 60% of slaves, right? That's a 3/5 compromise. This is to benefit the South. Okay, this is all in there. And they are going to outlaw the slave trade after 1808, right? They finally get that. And what else we got here? And Bill of Rights gets added afterwards. You should all know what the Bill of Rights are. Like, you have to know some of the amendments, right? You don't have to know all 27, but for the exam, you're going to need to know the big ones, the ones that we talk about all the time in class, right? I'm not going to go through every single one that you're going to need to know, but there's a lot of them, right, that are very, very important. And we'll talk about them, a little bit. Obviously, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, Very, very important amendments. Okay. And that's everything. These were for the anti-federalists, the people who did not want federalist power in the government. All right. Declaration. We already talked about the Declaration of Independence. Washington's presidency. I know what was on A-Push Radio. I know exactly what song that is, by Kid Cudi. I'm just messing with you guys. So precedents, right, set by George Washington. His cabinet, he's the one who set that precedent, and then all other presidents followed, right? This guy surrounded himself with great people. I mean, you think of who's in his cabinet: Alexander Hamilton, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, right? The best of the best. Henry Knox is his Secretary of War, which is just an awesome name. Remember that when before it was, you know what I'm talking about. He gets a title, Mr. President, puts down the Whiskey Rebellion. All right, that's enough about him. We've talked about him. Then we get to the two-party system, and we've definitely did this one in almost all the classes. The biggest thing here, and this one's a little bit messed up because I forgot my keys at home, so I didn't get the updated version of this PowerPoint that I had changed around. So the big thing here, though, loose interpretation versus strict interpretation. You need to know who these people were, the Federalists versus the Republicans. Madison, obviously, Jefferson, obviously. But national government power versus non-national government power. But that strict interpretation versus loose interpretation is the big one, okay? So make sure you figure those things out, all right? And we have, let's see here. What we got next? Okay, Hamilton's financial plan, all right? The assumption of state debts. This is where Hamilton wants to take all the debts from all the states and put them together. Okay, and that is going to put all the debt on the United States, bring the states together, and then allow them to borrow more money. It'll increase their credit. And the National Bank, debate over the use of federal power. Is that strict or loose interpretation? Somebody who's listening up can tell me, right? If that is a strict or loose interpretation of the Constitution. All right. Hold on a second. My wife's watching a video out there. I gotta tell her to turn it down. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but a little loud. I'm pretty sure they're watching. Yes, loose. Hey, Anna Maria, what's going on? Welcome. I did have this new thing. I don't know what this. Let's see what it sounds like. I'm gonna play around here for a second.
What? Yes. Oh. Loose is correct. Good job, Haley. Let's move on.
That's a little weird. I can't keep going with that one. So, all right. What do we got here? What's the next thing? Okay. So what did George Washington tell everybody to do? Hey, get rid of alliances, no political parties. They listened to nothing, right? Absolutely nothing. And so, these tensions that I put there with Britain and France helped to lead to political parties, right? So those are the things, the advice of George Washington that we did not listen to, which we should have, right? Then we get to John Adams, right? The greatest number two. He was a great, great vice president, right? He was a great patriot. He did a lot for this country. Yes, his presidency was messed up. It was not the best. He needed some help, right? And he just got a little too much of himself because he was very, very proud of himself and what he could do. So he paired with Sam Adams. He paired on the Declaration of Independence with Jefferson. He was a very good friend of Benjamin Franklin. And then he paired with Washington, right? Those are all good number twos, right? Things that he did. The XYZ affair, when he's dealing with France, trying to get them to talk with everybody, with the United States to kind of pare down what they're doing. They had a little war with France, but it was mainly on the open seas. But the big thing that he did was the worst, was the Alien and Sedition Acts. Okay? Remember, they changed the citizenship, like it says there, 5 to 14 years. That was so the Federalists can have 2 years or 2 terms without voting for immigrants, because the immigrants were mostly Democratic Republicans, not Federalists, because Federalists were the businessmen, the much more wealthy. Okay. He could deport anybody who was here. Just basically, if you were here and you didn't have a citizenship yet, he could deport you, and he did. But the big one is those sedition acts, okay? Where he says you're causing seditious activity, right? Which is against the government. He threw him in jail. He threw him in jail for the rest of his term. Not until my boy TJ got in there did a lot of those people get released from prison. So that means you threw citizens in jail for talking bad about the government, right? I mean, that's what they fought the British government over, was the fact that they wanted, free speech, First Amendment, right? Those are the big ones. All right, we got that one. Then we get the Kentucky and Virginia resolutions. All right. This was in response to the Alien and Sedition Acts. And this was basically talking about like the states. Remember, both these guys are from Virginia, right? They are from Virginia. But then why you're like, what is it, Kentucky, right? Because they sent it to Kentucky and they're like, hey, you guys put this on the books too. Shh, it's from us. But you guys can take action. You could take responsibility for it. And they're like, okay, it's coming from Thomas Jefferson and James Madison. Yeah, we'll do it. So the big thing here is this is where Thomas Jefferson and John Adams start, right? Really butting heads. I mean, not that it wasn't before, because John Adams beat Thomas Jefferson in the election, but this is where they really start beating heads. All right. So impact of the ideals of the Declaration of Independence, right? So obviously it's going to inspire multiple countries. The big ones are Haiti and Latin America. So Latin America, they're going to start, slowly gaining independence from Spain, fighting off the Spanish horde. Haiti gets their independence with Toussaint Louverture. I think that's how you say it. It's my best French accent. I can't do it better than that. But they all gain confidence. Like, hey, this little tiny country of 13 colonies that are slightly together fought off Great Britain, the most powerful navy and army in the world by far, right? Is this stuff important? What stuff? It wouldn't be important if I didn't talk about it. Who is that? Oh, that's Anthony. Yeah, I mean, these are all things that, it's just review, right? Because these are all things that you can be pulling up if you have to come up with a short answer question or any of this, right? These are the major things from these units. All right. So, Republican Motherhood. This one, I know a lot of these are in your note cards, but, you still need them. Encourage women to raise children and instill Republican values in their families. This was a thing. Now, this is, part of that continuity piece that you can use. Remember, the show change over time with women, Republican Motherhood. So they saw that women could educate their kids and instill in them Republican values. Now, this does not mean Republican like what you guys think like today, like a Republican Party. This is Republican as in the Republic of the United States, okay? And to instill in them these things. And so they started being able to get educated so then they could therefore educate their children, right? So Republican motherhood is an important aspect, okay? Now, all of these, I'm not going to read all of these to you, but this is basically the overview of period 3. What's going on here is important. You got, you have the government, you have Articles of Confederation, you have the Constitution. These are huge, huge things, right? I mean, it's the creation of our country. You're going to have to know them. The themes, the power of the national government, right? This is where it changes from the Articles of Confederation to the Constitution, right? National government gains a lot of power in this time period. Now, the states still have a lot of power, even after the Constitution, right? Because they're still wary of a really, really strong national government, even though they had my boy George, right? Pretty boy George. They had him. He was a great leader, but they need to, kind of change things around. So what else you got on here? Remember salutary neglect. That changes after 1763. Okay. What happens after 1763? Why would that be a date, right? We talked about it a couple days ago. Why 1763 is the end of salutary neglect, right? Something happened. I'll let you guys answer that one. Newly independent nation. How democratic, right? Are we going to include women? What are we going to do about slavery, right? We didn't deal with it with the Constitution with slavery. It would have been a great time to do it, right? And we don't give women any of that power either. Okay. So nobody knows why 1763 is important for salutary neglect? Nobody. Come on, help me out. 1763. That's the end of the French and Indian War, right? Pontiac's Rebellion, right? Proclamation line of 1763. Exactly. Good job, guys. Good job. I knew you knew it. I knew it. End of slideshow. End of Unit 3. So let's bring up Unit 4 and see how far we go. I'm not going to go crazy late, maybe, this is just more that we can get done now while we're here. Let me get away with that. And there we go. Units 3 and 4, right? Let me fix my screen here so I can see everything, see your comments and all of that. Let's create a country. Well, we already created it, right? So let's govern it. So, a couple announcements. I put the announcements here. I mean, we only got 8 people watching. But be sure to check out that DBQ if you were in the first couple classes, 1 and 3. Didn't really get that from 2018 on Google Classroom, where you have Heimler does a video going through it all, showing you how he annotates on the actual documents, and you can get those documents from 2018, which deal with the change in the United States. Sorry, I bumped my little thing there. Shaking my screen. And 1865, I think to 1910 is what it is, like the change. So I attach all the documents you need for that. The big thing is there's examples from students. okay, where it tells you exactly why the student got a point and why they didn't get a point. So there's really good essays. There's 3 of them with examples, right? So make sure you look through those, whenever you can. So Unit 4, okay. Period 4 is 10% of the exam, roughly, usually, most of the time. Reform movements, Second Great Awakening, westward expansion, slavery, right? Why was 1800 to 48? Where are those the dates? Jefferson's election, right? And Seneca Falls. All right, this is the Women's Rights Convention. So these are why the dates are chosen for this. It's a little off. Oh, okay, thank you. Let me make it a little. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Haley. Thank you. Oh, no, that wasn't Haley. That was Anthony. Thank you, Haley, anyways. I'm sure you were thinking it too. All right. A lot of it, the market revolution, Second Great Awakening, like I said. Okay. So Federalists and Democratic Republicans, right? We talked about those a little bit before, with the differences. But you need to know, I kind of just put them back in here because it's still a lot of the same thing. You need to know who the Federalists are, who the Democratic Republicans are. Commoners, middle class versus businessmen, who was pro-British, who was pro-French, okay? Then you get the Democrats and Whigs. These were... You get Democrats that are going to form under Andrew Jackson. They're the common man, the spoil systems. They wanted lower tariffs. I know we're talking about tariffs again. And then Whigs wanted a strong Congress, Bank of the United States, and internal improvements. Okay? That's going to be the difference. All right. I'm going to do this differently here because I can't really see this thing. Maybe I could. I'm going to do that, make that better. Yeah, or I could just do that. Okay. It's just you guys can't see what I'm looking at, but I can. Just makes it easier for me. Ooh. Oh, now this thing's all weird. Sorry. I know. I forgot it does that when I move it. There you go. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Sabrina, they, about comparing two parties like Democrats and Whigs, they might ask you, I don't think they're ever going to say, talk about Democrats, because that's hard. They're going to have to give you the time period. But they could definitely, because the Federalists and Anti-Federalists, those are in the beginnings of the Federalists, and the Democratic Republicans, those are at a very specific time period and they don't reappear. But I haven't seen them saying things about like Democrats and stuff like that. Yeah. So, all right. Then we get, hopefully that answers your question. Louisiana Purchase. They do a multiple choice like these ideas. Yes, that's exactly what they would do. Anthony, you're correct. So we get the Louisiana Purchase. This is the beginning of Manifest Destiny of this movement across the United States. You guys remember back to your expansion map from the first week, right? And... oh, where am I at? Okay, there we go. It doubled the size of the United States. You don't really have to worry about how we got it. We got it from Napoleon, obviously. This is where, though, this is the big thing. Jefferson switches from strict to loose interpretation, right? Because nowhere in the Constitution does it give Thomas Jefferson the power to buy land for the United States, okay? Yeah, first week, man. That was a long time ago, right? That was, what are we in, our 32nd week now? Right? It was 31 weeks ago. The Supreme Court in the early 19th century. This is small, isn't it? Can you guys see this? Does it look okay? It looks small. It looks like I tried to increase the size, all of them. Hopefully it looks okay and you guys can see it. Supreme Court, early in the 19th century. All right. This is where... Okay. Let me change it real quick because it looks small to me. I know you guys can see it. Hold on. I know I got to move all these out of the way to do this. You're seeing how it's made. It's how the hot dogs are made. It's not like you guys don't know how PowerPoints are made, so it's not like I'm showing you state secrets or something. All right, that should be better. Boom. 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 Okay. Then let's go back. There we go. That's better. All right. That's better. And it should be. Then Gibbs versus Ogden. This was the big one about interstate trade. Okay. Early 19th century is all about the Supreme Court. Then we get to slavery, right? Because this is going to be the big thing leading up to the Civil War, right? 1800, 1848. I only have one thing about slavery, but we'll get to more things about slavery definitely in a minute. The Second Great Awakening, this was, people were kind of, it was the Second Great, people were just getting a little bit more, the religious aspects of society are being brought to light much more during this time period, okay? They're trying to get abolition. They're trying to abolish slavery. They're trying to get women's rights, Seneca Falls, these types of things, okay? You get xenophobia, big fear of foreigners during this time period, and it's going to lead to, a real curbing of immigration into the United States towards the latter half of it, all right? We get innovations, steam engines, textile. This is where they can finally, turn things into that cotton that they're making in the South, with the slaves. Interchangeable parts. This is because, remember, they didn't make everything the same, so it was very hard to make stuff. If you had a part and you were like, hey, I need, for farming, they weren't all the same. They would have to custom make everything. But Eli Whitney also was going to do the cotton gin, came up with this, all right? We get canals, we get railroads, latter half of the 1840s, right at the end of this unit. So they're very quickly, canals are very quickly replaced with railroads, all right? Telegraph, even quicker, right? This is going to be huge in the upcoming war, in the Civil War. Lincoln uses it to great effect during that, all right? There's the Erie Canal. Then we get the steel plow. So there are all of these mechanical innovations that they're going to have, all right? Oh, man. I forgot to animate these things. I was trying to put this in at the last minute. Give you guys a meme break. Give me a second here. Hold on. I'll talk to you as I change it because it's not going to really... Okay. Where is it at? Let's see. Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh my gosh, I forgot how many I put in here. I'm losing people. People are getting out of here. I'm like, okay, I get it. Let's do. People are like, I'm out of here, Mr. Green. You're not prepared. I know. Sometimes I'm not. You know, that's how it goes. I was trying to do a meme break and forgot to add the animations. But these are funny, so they'll be worth it. And there's 5 of them. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're back in there. Okay. Doop. Oh. U.S. government Hawaii. Remember when they took over Hawaii? They just annexed it. All kinds of horrible things going wrong at the back at home. I'm like, let's just take Hawaii. Another one with this girl. I like this meme format. It's pretty funny. Just because her face is great. And this is definitely true. A lot of World War II ones here. I think we stepped in 1941 and we definitely took over the ship. That is for sure. It's a good thing, too. I don't know how or why that picture is even a thing, but it's great. It's free real estate. Exactly, right? There's just a, sovereign country there with, their own people and everything. Yeah. Andrew Jackson. What a horrible dude. What a horrible dude. All right. That's it. Meme break over. Back to it. American system. 3 parts of it. This is important. You definitely are going to, might be asked a question about the American system. It's Henry Clay, and he's trying to bring the economy back. All right. 3 parts of it. Bank of the United States, which a lot of people are against. And yeah. Now, as we get the Irish settling in different parts of the East Coast, Germans they really don't want to be in the cities, so they're going to move farther inland, right? Which is going to put them in contact with more and more Native Americans, even though we've pushed a lot of them out at this point. But that's why they're going to be in Milwaukee and Chicago, and that's why those are a lot of Germans in those areas. Okay. And because you had different people living in different cities, you had kind of like, an interdependence, right? They were separate but equal, separate but the same. Okay. Then we get the market revolution. All right. This is where you're going to have actual goods, not people making in their house, that you can go buy. Okay. And it really, those things that we talked about, the railroad, the canals, all those things led to it. So you can move goods very, very cheaply across the country, right? So you could be making something somewhere and sell it in another part of the country. All right. That's a big part of the market revolution. All right. I think we'll do to slide 10, right? Nice 40 minutes. I don't want to do an hour. I'm tired from talking all day, although it's nice to talk without a mask on. Makes it a lot easier to talk. These are small. I thought these were bigger. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. Let's just finish. We'll finish it up on this slide here. I'll let you guys get back to whatever you want to do. national banks. Okay, the big one, Missouri Compromise. All right. That's a compromise, or the compromise of 1820. Either one you want to do. Okay. You should be, I'm quizzing you mentally. You don't have to write it down. You should know what that is, right? The Missouri Compromise, the Compromise of 1820. All right. So you can see it here. All of this area up here is going to be free for now, right? But everything north of the 3630 line is going to be free except for Missouri, right? So they add Missouri and Maine at the same time because, again, they're trying to keep a balance in the Senate of power, okay? So, oh, well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, see, I'm not having it today. This is not. Why isn't it? Oh, jeez. Let's just move that out of the way. We already looked at it. Yeah, that's 7. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, there you go. And at least it's out of the way. So you have a Talmadge Amendment on the Missouri Compromise. That one's not that big. I don't know why I put that on there. But you have to know the parts of the Missouri Compromise, and this is what we'll end. Missouri added as a slave state. Maine is added as a free state. 3630, everything north of that is going to be free, even though that's not going to stay for long because they're going to change it up. And this is the big thing. Both are equal, right? Because the Senate is where everything is at. So equality in the Senate between the states, between free and slave, that's where they're fighting over to keep that balance. It's a short-term solution, right? This is something that they're like, oh, we'll do this. This is so they can push it off onto somebody else. And we all know what happens. They keep pushing it. Eventually, it boils over, and we have our Civil War, all right? We have the Kansas-Nebraska Act, Dred Scott. All of these things are going to boil up because they didn't take their time with this one, right? So we can start with that. We'll finish. This will be the last slide. We'll do this one. So Jacksonian Democracy, right? This is a term, right? Andrew Jackson is, this is the hard thing to admit, right? He did a lot of great things as a president. Horrible human being. Did horrible things to Native Americans and all kinds of people. But he did do some things to help the United States that are still basically in place to this day. He was a common man, right? He loved to duel. He was horseback riding. He was doing all these things. He improved suffrage for all males. I know women. I know. He didn't go after. He didn't help you guys out. He comes up with the party nominating conventions, which we still do to this day. That the party has a convention. Everybody nominates who they want to be president from their respective parties. Okay, and it really leads itself to the two-party system. But we get the spoil system, which is going to be, obviously till this day. They give government jobs to political supporters, and there's going to be major pushback against Jackson when he takes over because of that. But we'll get there. We haven't even gotten through the election of 1824. But Jackson really supported that. Okay, an election of 1824. So we'll finish there. 45 minutes. That's enough for you guys. Enough for me. And we'll get into it, and we'll finish up for tomorrow easily. So then we'll work from there. And if you have questions on the DBQ, write them down. We'll answer those, after we finish it, and we'll talk some more about the DBQ after we finish up Unit 4. All right. Let's see if we can finish off on something funny. What is this one? Let me hear what this one sounds
like. It was, whoa. That's crazy. Yes, send me a meme I love them. It's weird to talk with this. I just have to do it so I can't hear myself because it gives me an echo in my. I don't know why, but it does. But yes, I mean that would be great.
There we go. I'll finish off on the regular thing. But it's great to see you guys. Thank you for coming and logging on, all 8 of you. High fives, air fives. We'll see you tomorrow in the morning. And have a great night. No, I got to end it, don't I? Okay. We'll see you guys later. Peace out. Deuces.